one of the best ways is obviously is have student referral. And that means having such a great program that your students actually say, I need to invite my friend Jimmy to class because I'm having such a blast with it that I need to share that. However, if you don't teach great classes, they're not going to invite their friends. It's simple as that. So that's one of the best ways to do that. Of course, you can go everything from people do birthday parties and everything else. Family members join. And, of course, there's a lot of different ways. And about it is the market's always changing. So, I try to stay up with the different programs and things like that. And my focus is on being the best martial arts / Commando Krav Maga instructor and mentor I possibly can be. That being said, if I'm spending all my time in learning how Google AdWords work and everything else, I need to be knowledgeable on it, but I'm not the expert at those. So what I'd recommend is if you're going to be going to those paths, don't spend all your time trying to design your own website and everything like that, because the time you're spending doing that is the time you're not mentoring your students, you're not preparing your students for classes and everything else. So you need to outsource to experts in the field that are successful. And, of course, you got to hold them accountable. And as far as that goes, if you're not getting the results that you're going to achieve, let them know. I'm not getting the results that I want to achieve, and that's basically why I'm talking to you today. For example, is the fact that I'm working with Rev Marketing to try to get some more students and basically to share what I'm trying to do out there, to get the word out there to other people so that I have a chance to change their lives. The biggest thing I get from that is a group of mentors and peers that I work with to continue to push ourselves, because we are always training, we're always evolving. The difference between CKM, Commando Krav Maga, and even some of the other reality-based self-defense systems is that we are constantly evolving. We're constantly trying to make our system better, not just in how we teach, but also if we find that we're having students that are having a difficult time with a certain technique or such, we will try to evolve that technique and try to make it even better so that it works regardless, because if it cannot be used by a small person against a much larger person, it will not be added into the curriculum. And so I've seen techniques that have started off as a beginner level technique, but that students are having a harder time learning it, get moved to a more advanced technique where they've had more time to train, and something more simple come down. For example, pinning against punches, we use what's called a helmet or a double rhino for the kids, and all they have to do is cover up and not get hit, and how to teach that. But I can teach a 3-year-old in 2 minutes how to defend against a punch and be very, very, very effective with it. Now, when I'm teaching traditional martial arts, it's going to take me 6 to 8 months to teach that kid how to properly block and get the timing so that he doesn't miss the block and get hit. Usually, after one class, they can be pretty good at it as far as covering up and not taking the punch to the face, and that would be an example of that. But getting back to the question, is the mentoring that I have. I know people from all over the world that train in real-world environments. They're special forces operators, they're police officers, SWAT team members, MMA fighters, and things like that are teaching. And we get together and we work together as a team to improve each other in that mentoring ability to go and train at a high level. So that's what I really get out of boot camp. And, of course, getting the instruction from some of the best instructors like Moni Azik, the founder of Commando Krav Maga, one-on-one instruction where he's actually teaching us all the technical details and how to teach and the different ways to teach and how to impart that knowledge to your students. And, of course, anytime that a student has problems, there's usually another instructor that says, yes, I had a student that was having the same issues. This is how I taught that student so they could get it, or even to the point where some of the technique might have to be modified. For instance, I've had a gentleman that had a stroke. He only has one arm that works. He can grab with the hand, but he can't lift it. So you have to modify the techniques accordingly, and it teaches you not necessarily what is the technique. The Commando Krav Maga is based upon concepts, so it's not necessarily you have to use this exact technique in order to defend against this. It's actually taught about, okay, did it accomplish the task? All right, if someone's got a gun on you, did you get out of the line of fire? Did you maintain control of the gun? Was you able to disarm? Will it work against a bigger, stronger attacker? So it gives you all those situations. And so it's not so much about this technique, that technique. It's more about, okay, here's a group of tools. Now, you need to learn how to use the tools and apply them in different situations. And that's what I really love about CKM and the mindset. And you've got people that are experts in all kinds of different martial arts and CKM that bring their own little tweaks to it. And then what we do is we get together and we decide what works best for everybody, and then it gets standardized for the students. There's always an open door policy with our Commando Krav Maga. Everyone's instructors. Everyone's also students. Even the chief instructor, which is Moni, says he's also a student in Commando Krav Maga. There's always more to learn, and so we're constantly evolving. And so he's got open door, and he'll ask your opinion. What do you think about this technique? And of course, we test everything. Any situation you think of, we test it. And how's it going to be tested? With like a small lady and a big, strong guy going full force and see if it works. Of course, without injuring anybody.